Hey guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So in this video, something a little bit different. I'm going to be looking at 10 games on Evercade that have caused a lot of frustration to me, to the point where I've just basically rage quit and just gone on a bit of a huff, I guess, and just, the type of thing where you would chuck down the joypad, probably crack a TV screen or something, that type of thing. Obviously I've not done that for a while, but these games definitely frustrated me. Now, they are difficult games. It's not really about games being difficult. It's just been certain things that in the game that just cause a lot of frustration, constant deaths, and it just brings out the rage quit in you. Anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at those games. Okay, first game up is Earthworm Gem from Interplay Collection 1. Now, Earthworm Gem is obviously an iconic game, but I never ever got past the first level on the original Mega Drive, and it's due to the first boss. It is unbelievably hard and frustrating. Now, the game itself is okay, it's not the worst at all, but it has some frustrating moments here and there, and it is a good challenge, but you get to that first boss, it's unbelievable. I think certainly a health sort of bar would be helpful to know exactly how much more health this boss has got, because you really feel as if you're firing at it and nothing is happening at all. And yeah, I got really frustrated. It is very, very tough. With save states, it is just about manageable if you've got the patience to keep on going, but it is a very tough start to the game, and not getting past the first level is almost embarrassing, I guess, but that's where I stood. I eventually did get past it though. Next up, it's from the Pico Collection 1 cart, and this is Tenhead. Now, the reason probably I played a lot of Tenhead was probably as part of a Facebook high score challenge, and Tenhead was one of the options to get the high score. Now, sadly, I had to play through this quite a number of times, and yeah, I finished it probably quite a few times, but it was unbelievable, really frustrating. Due to the fact that there's so many things on the screen coming out to kill you, a lot of the bosses just jump out of nowhere, you have so little warning, and there's nothing you can do except lose sort of life and obviously some unit of your health there, but it's really frustrating. It is a tough challenge, and it's really just because of where the enemy placements are, and in later levels some of the enemies just jump out as you jump to one of the platforms, meaning there's no way of avoiding taking a hit, and that just causes an unbelievable amount of frustration. That is a shame, because I think there's a really decent enough game in here if you're willing to put up with it. There's a lot going right for it. It's got nice, lovely graphics, and obviously got great sound, music, that type of thing. But it's a frustrating game to play, and one I probably would not recommend to anyone, which is a shame, because I really think there's a good game here. Okay, sadly, next up is The Fantastic Adventures of Desy. Now, I'm a huge Desy fan, I love a lot of the games. This one I do not like one bit. It's definitely my least favourite Desy game on the Oliver Twins collection. And I've ploughed a lot of time into the game, but get so frustrated because there's so many things on the screen to kill you. Some of the things you can't even see till it's too late, such as spiders, creepy crawlies going across the screen that are brown, the same colour as the background, and there's just deaths that kick in at you and you have no chance of avoiding them. A really tough game, and it is a bit of a sprawling mess, to be honest. I don't think it's Desy's best game at all, and it's very frustrating to play through. And don't get me started on that raft section going down in that kind of barrel going down the rapids. Unbelievably frustrating. The amount of times I had to reload a save was just crazy. And I can't actually believe they actually made a full game out of that section. Unbelievable. So next up is Scrapyard Dog, a kind of a cutesy platformer type of thing, which I would guess is probably aimed at kids, but I'm not sure they would have the patience to stick through the horrible mechanics in this game, and I've no idea why I even played a lot of this game, and I did play quite a good bit of it, but I guess I stopped because the frustration certainly kicks in at some points with deaths that you have no avoidance of. You're chucking something, I don't even know what this character's actually throwing at the enemies. It takes so long to happen, I don't know what it is, and the enemies just vanish into thin air. It's a weird game, it's a bit odd, you're trying to rescue your dog obviously, but it's a horrible, I don't like this game. So next up is California Games from Atari Lynx Collection 2. And yeah, this one is notorious. I think there's a lot of people out there that love this game. Me, I do not like this game one bit. I think it's just really tough and frustrating to play through. I don't feel as if I've ever got a lot of control over the characters or any of the events. Some of the events are okay, like Footbag is fine, that's easy enough to go through, but the surfing, obviously the half pipe, and even this BMX, I just have no control. You seem to, I don't know, you're trying to get to the end, do as many stunts as you possibly can, but there's so many things just hitting out at you. I don't feel as if I've ever got any control, and two deaths or two fails at the one time there. Obviously it's not death, it's not that extreme, but yeah, it's frustrating. I've just never really enjoyed this game at all. I know there's plenty of fans out there for it, and no, it just frustrated me, especially the half pipe and at times the surfing. I just felt I just have no control over what I'm supposed to do. Now, I think the Evercade manual does not help on this occasion. There's not enough information in the manual to tell you how to actually control, especially half pipe. There's no information how to actually control the skateboard and what you need to do. You probably need to sort of search out the original manual for this to get hints and tips. Now, I have done that. I have actually made progress and actually scored on half pipe reasonably decently once you actually know what to do. It's all about pressing up and down at the right time on the sort of pipe there, and then doing your sort of left and right or skills, whatever it is you have to do. But most of the time I feel as if I'm just going back and forth and then just failing. It's horrible, it's frustrating, and it's one of those games I'd rather never play again. Okay, next up is Asan Ax on the Jellicoe collection. This is obviously the NES original, based on the arcade game, which is totally different, and this guy is now doing his Ric Flair impression. Woo! But this game, I'm certainly not wooing. It's just unbelievably tough, frustrating. You've got an seemingly endless supply of enemies that just keep respawning and respawning. No matter how many times you kill them, they will respawn and keep going. And sorry about the graphic glitching, that is really just down to the screen recorder and the constant glitching on the NES version here, which I really don't enjoy this game. I find it frustrating. Now, interestingly enough, I know there's a lot of people out there that actually really enjoy this game, but I am definitely not one of them. Okay, next up it's an arcade game. Now, interestingly, I've only actually got one arcade game on this sort of video. There could be loads because they are notoriously difficult, but they are deliberately difficult. But I've chosen this one because this one is horribly difficult. This is obviously Battle Chopper, also known as Mr. Heli, and trying to make progress in this game is either complete fluke or just completely spamming those save states. I have actually made progress through the game and it's actually alright, but those respawning enemies, now you could just sit here and kill the enemies, but they'll just keep respawning and keep coming. So the best sort of way to play it is just do your best, avoid it, and just keep going as best as you can. Just keep going, don't stop, because those enemies will forever respawning into the screen. So it's utterly pointless, just keep moving. And it's hard though, there's so much going on in the screen, so much firepower, enemies hitting at you. Yeah, it's obviously a coin guzzler and an arcade game, so it is meant to be difficult and you're meant to just keep putting in coins to make some sort of progress. But for me, nah, I didn't enjoy it. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. Okay, now there's no doubt Cathedral is a top game. I've put in a lot of time to this game and enjoyed it to a certain degree. However, It is certainly one of the toughest challenging games out there. It's very difficult, especially the further you get into the game. The bosses are really tough. The enemies just seem to sort of come at you as if you're some kind of magnet, and they just jump at you. I don't really feel as if I have a lot of control over what happens in the game. I just fall, get kicked all onto spikes. Yeah, it's just a very, very frustrating game. Personally, I prefer Alwa's Awakening on this collection, as I find Cathedral was far too difficult, far too frustrating. I didn't have a lot of control over what I was doing at times, especially in this stage. I've been on this stage so often and died so many times, or lost a lot of coins anyway in the progress of this section. But it's one of those games I really want to be better at it. It could be just down to me not being good enough to play this game, but I think for sure it's a very tough game. It's very challenging, and I don't think I'm good enough to play it. That's probably the issue here. Okay, next game could be any of these games, I guess, from the C64 collection too, but I'm going to choose Nebulous, given the fact that it's just a pretty difficult game to actually play through. And again, like a lot of the games, I feel as if I don't have any control over what actually happens. A lot of it's a bit of trial and error. A lot of the sort of enemies seem quite random in how they appear and their movement across the screen. And at times it is quite difficult to see where the enemies are and what level they're on, and are they coming towards you, are they going away? And there's also that thing is you've got a time limit to actually get to the top of the tower, and you've got 100 seconds to get to the top, so that's always sort of eating away at you. And if you fail even just a couple of times, trying to get to the top in that time limit is just almost impossible. And it's certainly one of those games you can keep going back. I think it's certainly got some kind of addiction sort of to it, whereas I kept going back to it, trying to get progress, trying to get to the top, and make some sort of progress through the game, which I did eventually make progress, but very frustrating. I feel as if I had no control, and that definitely is what causes a lot of frustration in games. When you die and it's not really your fault, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it feels at times it's not my fault that I died, and that's when the rage quit kicks in. Wow, and this is certainly one of those games. It causes quite a bit of rage quit. Okay, last game, and probably not a big surprise. This is Gimmick, or Mr. Gimmick, whatever you want to call it. And this is notorious for being extremely challenging and very tough to play. Yeah, it's certainly one of those trial and error style games. Save states actually help to a point, but even once you get to the bosses, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be firing at. I feel as if the bosses are overpowered. I just feel it's a frustrating as heck game. You can play the same section over and over again and die in lots of different ways. The platforming part is quite slidey, so I feel as if you sort of get sucked into your impending doom by complete accident because you have no control over it. But this is a tough game, and as I said, those bosses, horrible. I have no idea how to do them. I'll probably need to check some videos online how to actually defeat some of the bosses, but this game is one of the toughest challenges you'll find on Evercade for sure. So guys, that's my 10 picks for games that just want to make you rage quit whilst playing them. Let me know what you think, guys. What other games would you include in this video? Now, one of the latest games, the secret games that is, the Lost Mines, I was tempted to put that in there because some of the later levels are frustrating. Not really sure if it's the game's issue, my issue, the controls issue, but it is pretty frustrating at times. And I certainly wanted to rage quit, but yeah, there's a lot of games on here and there's probably more that I could have included. But anyway guys, let me know what you think. What other games would you include in this video? Thanks for watching, catch you in the next one, bye for now.